Hi, I'm Atlantis Wolf, and I am the visionary behind the Find Your Voice online summit. The idea for the summit came in two parts. One, I was invited to be in a summit, and there were some things I didn't like about it, and some things I liked a lot. Mostly, I didn't like something. And I remember from my schoolhood days when my kids were in elementary school, you had to be careful if you complained about something because then you're in charge of that committee. So I thought it wasn't really fair to just complain. I have to do something about it. And I thought about it just for a moment, and then I got a message, a download. I was meditating, and Mother Mary, who has come to me in the last 6 months, said, "This is what you're going to do." I was on vacation, I was in a good place, and it all came as a download about create a summit that's accessible, that's affordable, small bite-sized bits, and for people who are just beginning their journey, just beginning to step out and discover sort of the more spiritual aspects of their life. They're not content anymore just to go to work. They want to know what else is there? What else how else can I feel in this life and in this body? And maybe they even had, like me, a spiritual experience, a seeing, a vision. Maybe you're at a retreat and you see the Archangel Gabriel. Maybe you're holding someone's hand when they die and things open up in a way that you hadn't expected. Maybe you hear voices, but there's no body. Maybe you feel things the way that we feel warmth when we get close to a fire. There are people who can feel when they get close to other energies, whether it's other people or just it could be anything. It could just be an energy without a form. It could be when they get close to water, when they get close to people that have anxiety. There's people that are very sensitive to other people's emotions. It could be that all of a sudden you are experiencing something that other people have not experienced around you, so you don't have a support group for that. So usually that's where I come in. Usually I get put in the path of people who've had some extraordinary experience or some medical mystery, some pain that is unexplainable by normal imaging or pain medication, or there just doesn't seem to be a reason for it. And they come to me and I say, okay, the first thing I'm going to tell you, that's normal. It is completely normal to have all the senses you have on this side, all the ones that we see, hear, feel, taste, touch, and on the other side, on the spiritual side. In other words, if you close your eyes and you imagine your childhood bedroom, it comes into your mind. There's a picture in your mind, a vision, there's memory, but there is a picture that comes into your mind. In that same way, when you meditate, you can get visions of things in the past or the future, or angels or dragons, things that you might not see in everyday life. You could think of it as a lucid dream, a dream you have while you're still awake, you're not completely asleep, or a liminal dream, a dream in between the space of waking and sleeping. Completely normal. Hearing things that you can't explain where they came from, completely normal. I have had many of those experiences, and I feel sure that it's my calling to be here to say, yeah, that's normal. It's a sense. It's just an extra sense that you have. It's a way of opening up a pathway into the spiritual realms, the non-ordinary realms, however you want to say that. My background is in the shamanic world. So I am a lineage keeper for the Seneca wolf clan through grandmother Twyla, carried through Linda Starwolf, who I've been studying with since 2008. So it's been a long time, but really shamanism is just about connecting to the living part of everything. There is a spirit in the chair, there's a spirit in your house, there's a spirit in your body, there's a spirit in the body of animals, but also in lakes, in rivers, in mountains, in things that are ordinary and extraordinary. And I'm connected to that world. So in the same way that you breathe in and out, I walk in and out of the ordinary and non-ordinary worlds. which makes me really fun at parties. And it also makes me fun if you've had an experience and you want to say, how can I explore that more? I hope you're the most interesting person that you ever met. I hope that you keep going inside and finding space for yourself, because it's infinite. You could be with yourself all your life, 100 years, and you're still going to find interesting things about yourself. I'm absolutely sure about it. So I bring shamanism to the table. I'm also a licensed medical massage therapist, so I bring a lot of anatomy and physicality to the table. I do emotion code work, so I release trapped emotions. I use kinesio tape for swelling and strains and sprains and lymphedema, things like that. I do shamanic life coaching, and I do shamanic breath work. So I do breath work ceremonies using holotropic breath work, holotropic breathing with music and drumming and art processing, and then take a break and then do cacao and ecstatic dance to embody the experience. It's awesome. I would be more than happy to talk about that over and over and over. So for me, my inner healing is going for a walk. I go for a walk every morning. I get up and I go for a walk for an hour into the woods. I go from my suburban house, inner ring suburb house, to the woods and back. Sometimes for an hour, sometimes for an hour and a half. And that's what does it for me. That gives me the space to be with my body, to be quiet, not with a dog, not with a person, not with headphones, not with a meditation, not on the phone, not with the news, but just with myself. That's the key. You create space for yourself, to be with yourself. Your body is talking to you. Your spirits and guides are talking to you. So many things are trying to interact with you. Nature, signs, voices, music, animals. But you have to be reaching into that world. It's like magic. If you look for magic in the world, you'll find it. If you look for things to upset you in the world, you will find it. You will always find what you seek. So be careful what you're looking for. Keep going with the questions, but always have an open mind. So, imagining for a moment that you have no experience, you're coming to it fresh. The first place to create your own healing is with a breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Don't focus on the inhale. Your lungs are a vacuum. We take in way too much air. We're practically only breathing in the top 20% of our lungs. It's like puppy breath, like breathe in a little, breathe out a lot. And then pause. You don't need to be inhaling and exhaling every second of the day. It's okay to pause. Breathe in what you need. Let go of what you don't need. And pause. Just feel what it's like to be in your body. You could take one breath to move into your own space. If things are crazy, remove yourself, take 3 breaths, reprogram your nervous system from the sympathetic, fight, flight, I don't know what I'm going to do next, to the parasympathetic. Rest, digest, cry. You can't cry when you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. If you think things are terrible, you can't cry. If you can cry, you feel safe, and that's a good sign. And that's a good way to know if your nervous system is moving from sympathetic to parasympathetic. If it's parasympathetic, that's a good thing. That means you feel okay. You can break down. You can be vulnerable. If you've taken your 3 breaths and you're looking for something else, go to percussion. Find a drum. If you're a drum person, percussion is both the heartbeat of your own heart, and if you're not feeling calm, it's a wonderful way to use sound and mechanical movement, and eventually you'll bring yourself back to your own heartbeat. What if you don't have a drum? I don't have a drum. What do I do? Okay. You can also use a rattle. This is a turtle shell rattle. It's very loud. This came from a Native American community out in Arizona, and it's very connected to me because turtle is my power animal. What if you don't have one? For 99 cents, you can go find a shaky egg. Everybody has these little eggs. I call them shaky eggs. They have little bits of polyester, polystyrene inside, and it's portable. So you can always just find your percussion, bring yourself into your own space. The key is just to bring yourself in yourself. Okay, so what if you don't have an egg? You can go to the shaman's friend, aspirin. And if you didn't know it was aspirin, it would sound like a rattle. You can breathe, you can use percussion and sound, and you can use your imagination. The most powerful tool you have is your imagination. It's the part of you that unlocks possibility. So if I say, imagine you're a sea turtle. Again, I'm very fond of sea turtles. That's my power animal. That's the animal that I turn to for guidance, the one that I see in dreams, the one that I see in meditations, the one I see when I look in clouds. I just notice a lot of sea turtles. And also I did a shamanic journey workshop long time ago, specifically with the intention of looking for a power animal, and sea turtle came to me. That's the key. You can't just pick, flaming griffin with claws of a dinosaur and say that that's your power animal. It has to come to you. It has to be in ceremony. Otherwise, it doesn't really count. So have some integrity when you go looking for your power animal, or call me. We'll do a ceremony around that. Imagine you're a sea turtle. The cool thing about sea turtles is they come up above the surface of the water and then they dive back down for a long time. In the same way, you can come up to the surface of your life, of what's happening around you, look around, sort of take stock. Okay, I see what's happening. And then go back down. Go back down to inside yourself. Use this opportunity to say, how am I feeling? Retreat when you need to retreat. It's okay to be deep. It's okay not to say anything. It's okay just to live in the world without engaging. If you're not ready to engage, if you're not feeling social, if you're not feeling anything other than wanting to tuck in, it's okay to tuck in. And the sea turtle can help you do that. Now for me, when I was on vacation, I was in the Caribbean, and you would think, oh, you're in the Caribbean, everything is perfect, everything is wonderful. And it was. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite places on earth. Jewel tone waters. There's always a breeze. Everything is just easy. And I was going to be there. I was there for 2 weeks, but I'd never been on a 2-week vacation before. And so after a week, I had a panic attack at 3 a.m. and I woke up and I was just panicked that I didn't have active income. I wasn't working. I've had my own practice for 13 years, but I've never taken 2 weeks off. I've taken trainings, but not 2 weeks off doing nothing. And I didn't realize I had a story going in my head that said, you're not allowed to do that. You can't just leave. You can't have fun. You can't just go. And so it broke something inside of me, and I had to look at it at 3 a.m. and there was nothing to be done. It's not like I could have gone home. I still had a week to go on vacation. And so I thought, well, there's really nothing to do. So I just prayed to Mother Mary, and I opened myself up to the possibility that this feeling is just a feeling. And I just sat there with it. I didn't try and overthink it, underthink it, get it out of me or under me, or I just didn't do anything. I just surrendered to it and said, yep, that's exactly how I feel. Nothing to be done. I surrender to it. I feel all the support and love and help and everything. And sometimes you just feel that way. The next day, I went to the beach because I like to walk the beach at sunrise. I went to the beach at sunrise, and I usually walk the whole beach. It's a mile-long beach, and then I get in the water and I float because I love floating in the ocean, particularly in the Caribbean. And as I was floating, I had a moment of complete serenity, bliss. I felt like there was not only no tension in my body, but there was no micro tension. No tension in my neck, my shoulders, my hip, any bone, anything. It was as if everything in my body became the ocean and every cell was taking up the same amount of space. And you know, the beautiful thing about water, it can't be compressed. So once you feel like water, once everything has opened up, you can't be compressed. You can't be squeezed back in. You can't be tightened up again. And so I was thinking, how am I going to take this with me? This is my moment. This is how I want to feel. I want to be able to access this all the time. And I laid there in the water and I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in, because my degree is in civil engineering, so there's an engineer in there, there's a massage therapist in there, there's a shaman in there, there's a dragon in there, a firekeeper. It's busy in my brain. So I said I'm going to fill up every neural pathway with this moment. How does it feel on my skin? How does the water feel? How does the air feel? What is the temperature? Is there wind? Is there anything I can hear? Can I hear the wind? My ear, your ears are below the water. And it was so quiet. I could hear my heartbeat, but I could also hear the little waves, because it's a bay, little tiny waves. The waves would crash and I could hear that salt, that like shh sound underwater. What does it sound like? What else do I hear? When I open my eyes, what do I see? There's always clouds there, but they're beautiful, big and thick. And look at the clouds, think about what you're hearing, think about how my hair feels, how my body feels, how my bones feel, how my muscles feel, every single bit of it. How does my heart feel? How does my liver feel? How does my stomach feel? How do my fingers feel? How does the sun feel on my face versus on my legs? Everything. I was there for 15 minutes and filled everything in. And because I did that, because I just saturated my senses with that memory, that moment, that now, that complete present moment, it became very easy to access it. So as soon as I would feel away from that moment, I would just stop and go back and remember. And I would think, floating in the ocean. And it wasn't to be in like denial about what was happening around me, because as you can hear, the world is still going around and it's still distracting. It wasn't about leaving the present moment. It was about getting back my body to feeling like I was in that ocean moment. So that was sealed up around me. And then in that very saturated, chill, ocean, uncompressible feeling, then I would step back into the present moment and meet whatever challenge was happening. And it changed everything for me. And I want to start teaching people how to do it. So I'm calling it post-retreat integration. It's one thing to go to a breath work or to go to retreat or to do plant medicine and have that high, that experience, that wow, that, rocket ship ride. And that's great. I've done that and it's wonderful. But that's not where my practice is focused right now. It's really focused on how do you keep it? How do you keep it forever? So here's 30 seconds. Go to your place. Saturate yourself with your favorite place. See how it feels when you fill in all those neural components. And keep it with you as long as you can. Give it a name and come back to it whenever you need to. I'm Atlantis Wolf, and I believe in you. Breathe in and breathe out. A little less effort on the inhale, a little more effort on the exhale. Reach into that place
and let it come back to you. Every detail. Watching this part of the video as many times as you need.